Yep. And we are here today. We are so excited that we are here with, oh my gosh, a fantastic young lady who is doing some great things here in San Diego. You guys are live on Testimonial Thursday on my show. I am OChea. You can go to KEPXRadio, go to my Facebook, and you will see her live. We are going to also be live right now as we speak. We are going live right now on Shepra Dorsey. That's CHEPRA. You guys, DORSEY on my Facebook. We are going to be live. Well, we got a special guest today, and she is doing some phenomenal things today, and I'm talking about doing some great things. When you speak of peace and when you speak of justice and doing some wonderful things to help people in San Diego, if you're going through anything that is a trial period or somebody is not fair here in San Diego, we have the #1 person here in San Diego. Now those that are on Facebook, we are now live, so you see me there, I'm waving at you. Get on board because we got Aeiramique with us today, and she is phenomenal. We are going to be talking about peace and justice here in San Diego. She is a true fighter, and she's doing some wonderful things. She is TV news social justice commentator. Welcome, Aeiramique.
Hey, how are you?
How are you? I am so excited to have you here on Testimonial Thursday. Oh my gosh.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you. You know, I love you.
Oh, we love you too. And you're doing some great things here in San Diego. I saw a couple of things that are happening. Tell us how you got started in San Diego and doing what you do.
Yeah, so I started working in radio and television when I was 14 years old, and then right out of high school, not only was I going to college, but I was also a disabilities assistant, and then became a counselor. And so for the last 10 years of my life, I was a juvenile justice and mental health counselor, and I just kind of moved towards always, you know, I was always an advocate for young people that were in the criminal justice system, in the juvenile justice system, and I worked with a lot of young men who were a part of gangs, and I really fell in love with the work that I did, but I always found myself really advocating for them versus, like, yeah, I was a heck of a good counselor, but I was always advocating for them because I seen white-led organizations taking over, taking money, getting funding, but not really giving these young people the resources necessary to really get them on their feet, to really help them, to really guide them and mentor them. And so I began to really advocate against those types of systems and those types of organizations, and move towards advocating and activism and organizing. And so from that point on, I just did what was natural and what God called me to do, which was when I see injustice taking place or I see something wrong, I need to help. I need to try to fix it.
That's good, because we do need things that we need to fix. I see also that you were on the news helping the homeless, helping those that were at the shelter, that young men and women, as far as, oh my gosh, they were separated from the parents. And I saw you down there, and I saw you on the news, and the things that you guys had to do to get the attention of the system, to let them know that this is real.
Right.
I mean, and now, what do you think, are the kids finally back together with their parents as far as the border?
Yeah, so there's two situations. There was one where I seen, and I continue to see, the injustice happening in the criminalization of homeless, and so I slept downtown for multiple nights in protest of that, on the sill at the city council building. And then the particular, I got arrested for that one too. I get arrested every week. But and then the next situation was, you know, as far as the situation with the border and immigration, and calling people illegal. No human being, number one, is illegal.
That's right.
And then on top of that, the United States of America has no room to talk to anybody about coming over when we are the ones who stole. Well, I wasn't. I was brought here, you know. but we are the ones that colonized and stole people's land and all these different things. And then for us to build walls and tell people that they cannot come and they're not welcome here, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But on top of that, to then separate children from their parents, I don't care who they are, that is, you know, inhumane.
Right.
And so myself, my organization, and some amazing activists and allies, we chained ourselves to a makeshift a gate in the middle of the street. So we blocked the detention facility staff from doing any type of shift change, from leaving, from coming in for 8 hours. And we were all ready to spend the night. We had a huge, you know, team of people that were ready to spend the night, and then we were arrested.
Wow. So every time you go out and you protest and you do the things to protect us, you get arrested.
Pretty much.
My gosh. Wow.
Pretty much. You know, there's two types of arrests that take place with me. There's the one that is essentially planned, and when I say planned, that means I have organized not just myself but other people, or other people have organized with me, or I've taken leadership and we've decided to do some type of direct action, right? So that direct action ultimately lets me know that I can potentially be risking arrest. I never go anywhere to get arrested, right?
Right.
But I do go into situations knowing that I am about to do something that is potentially going to get me arrested. And so we call that risking arrest. And normally I do get arrested. And then there's the other part of, I will say, you know what? I don't want to go to jail today. I'm not going to nobody's jail.
Right.
And something will happen at an action or a protest, or even in a meeting that I'm having, and it will escalate. And I am big on not backing down from anybody and letting people know that we the people are the ones in charge. And for far too long, we've had people in positions of power and leadership who are supposed to be listening to what we the people want, but do what they want for, you know, money, fame, fortune, all these different things. And so no longer are we, you know, taking it. And so I will shut you down. So sometimes I go in a situation not planning on any type of risky arrest, but it can escalate to that. Or if I see somebody being targeted or harmed, particularly by the police or anybody in a position of power, I will step in, and that ultimately leads to arrest too. So, but you know, it's part of what God has called me to do.
Right. I also saw you at a protest rally when it came to a police shooting. I believe it was in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Tell me a little bit about that too, because that was a young man who was, I believe he was special. You know?
Yeah, so Alfred Alongo, he had just lost somebody who was so close to him, and then on top of that, to be dealing with any type of mental health issues, right? And so here in San Diego County, we have a huge issue. Number one, most of the mental health county facilities have been closed down. That's number one. Number two, we have a shortage in PERT clinicians. PERT are those who respond when somebody calls 911 and they say, you know what, my brother, my sister, my cousin, I think is having some type of psychiatric break. They are in crisis right now. Can you guys come out and help? One or two people should show up. It should be PERT clinicians or PERT trained police officers. If that's our last option. And what ends up happening is police officers who, number one, should be trained to deal with these types of issues, right? And deal with all kinds of people, especially people who are different from them, or are in some type of crisis. They show up, and when they show up, they operate out of fear. I don't know how you swore to protect and serve people, and then you are fearful of the people you swore to protect and serve. I don't know how that works. And so So we have police constantly showing up on the scene who are fearful of black men, whether they are in crisis or not. And so you see things like what happened to Alfred Alongo happen. It took them a long time to get to him. And then within minutes you killed him. So you weren't that worried because you took hours to get to him, right? But as soon as you show up on the scene, you're also scared. And so these are the problems that you're seeing across the nation, right? San Diego likes to pride themselves. And let me just be clear, I am not anti-police. I do a lot. I actually, whether, everybody has their agreements. The police don't like that I work with anti-police folks, which I do.
Right.
And, the certain folks from the community don't like that I work with the police, but I know that God's called me to be a liaison, and he hasn't called everybody to be that. He might have called you to stay in your lane, do that, but that's where I operate in the best, is trying. I always say, I will burn your wall down, but I'll build a bridge when you're ready. And so that's what I believe, like, God has called me to do. That's my position in this world, in this space, is to really call out injustices and work for people and work for the people. But at the same time, I'm not an extremist. I don't hate anybody. I'm not against anybody. I'm against police brutality. I'm not anti-police. I'm against racism and hate and bigotry. I'm not against white people. So I think we have to be clear, because a lot of times we talk in a very extreme manner. And I just believe in being fair, being righteous, being balanced. And so that I can't speak for anybody else, but that's what God has taught me.
Well, I like that. I'm anti-racist too. I have people of all colors, all in San Diego, everywhere. And one thing that we do want to make it clear that you said is that you're not against. I like that. You're not against the police. I'm not a racist. I'm not this way. But you're here for justice, and that's what this is really about. We want to thank you. Thank you. You guys are reaching www.KEPXRadio.com, and I am OChea on Testimonial Thursday. We have our special guest today, Aeiramique. She is a TV news social justice commentator. She also is a wonderful young lady who's doing great things in San Diego, and not only in San Diego, but she's doing it everywhere. It's about peace, y'all. It's about helping those in need. It's about justice. We need to step up and let it be known that we are not going to have these things keep happening in our communities, and not only in our communities, but even in our homes. We got young men, we got things that are going on in our communities, and for us to come together, we need people like Aeiramique. And so we are so happy to have her on this wonderful show that we have. And so Aeiramique, what do you think about the chokehold?
Oh, you just got right into it, huh?
Yeah.
I think we need to get rid of the chokehold. People's lives, police use it as a tactic to put somebody down, to restrain somebody, which can lead to loss of life, which can lead, if you don't die, it can lead to brain damage, and other injuries. And so we need to just get rid of it.
I agree.
There are so many, and this is what I always, when I do police trainings, I tell them this all the time. For 10 years as a juvenile justice counselor, working with every single population, particularly mental health and gangs, which they consider the most dangerous population, right? I worked with them every single day. And you know what I didn't have that the police had? I didn't have a badge nor a gun.
That's right.
The only thing I had were skills, tools, and a mouthpiece. And I truly love people. And I think that's the issue that we have. People aren't getting into, the police field because they just truly love people. We're getting in the police field because we like power. We like position.
That's right.
We have some other issues that we never dealt with, so now we're, and then there are people who did get in it for the right reasons. But now the police world has become so political. So to change a practice, to change a policy, to change how we operate, has become so political.
Right.
This chokehold situation. I don't know how police practices and how they brutalize people have become such a political ordeal. But if you trace the money, the funding, the police unions, you start to understand why it's so hard to get rid of a lot of the things that are being implemented by police departments, not just ours, but across the board.
Right.
But there's so many other skills, tactics, and tools that you can use.
Right.
Yes, in my profession, in mental health, before I moved fully into juvenile justice, we could do restraints.
Right.
But in my report, I could not, when I did a restraint, if somebody got hurt, that means I did not do the restraint properly.
Exactly. That's true. That's it.
So how is it that you can do whatever you want and not have any consequences or, no accountability in your action?
Right.
So there's so many tools that they can use. We can get rid of the chokehold.
I agree.
I don't even know why this is it's been such a political and big come on, there's so many other tools that we have that we can use.
And I also agree that we shouldn't, don't shoot the gun if somebody's running away from you. I really believe that. That's just my opinion, that if someone's back is toward running away from you, there's no need to use the gun because it's not facing you. So I'm still kind of looking into that too. I don't agree on that, and there's a lot of things I don't agree on, but then too with the system that we're in, there's so many rules to this game, what I mean? And so it's hard to find out, okay, is this supposed to happen this way?
No, it's not supposed to happen.
You're running, but you can shoot. So I remember they had the stun gun. And it seems like the stun gun is only used on certain people. I'm just kind of confused about that because I'm not sure. Some have a nice knife, they get shot, or some do have a gun, or they get shot, or some have a knife and don't get shot. So there's so many things that I've seen on the news that is kind of confusing to me, and I don't know the law, but I am learning. You know what I mean? And I'm seeing it live.
Well, there's a couple of issues to that. If somebody is a suspect in a murder and they're running away, and or somebody is a kid walking down the street and you just stopped him out the clear blue because you can, and he runs and you shoot him, both are a issue, right?
Right.
So my thing is, when did it become okay to accuse somebody? So we have put police in such a position where they are, all the law. They are the judge.
That's right.
They are the jury, and they are the executioner. In that moment, in minutes, right? And so and they can do that because there are no consequences to their actions, right?
That's true.
And why are you doing that? If anybody is running away from you, unless they are physically doing something that can harm you, not even themselves, because I don't understand how we're killing people that are mentally ill who have a knife. They're not even hurting you, they're nowhere near you, but they could potentially hurt themselves. Your job is to make sure they don't hurt themselves.
Right.
You're supposed to be protecting and serving. So we have given them so much power to the point where they are the justice system, and they can make these decisions in a split second, and they are protected. If somebody is running away from you, I don't care whatever they did, there is no reason for you to shoot them unless they have just killed somebody in your face and they can potentially kill somebody else.
That's right.
We're not looking at the bigger picture anymore. And when I say we're, I'm really talking about them, but I like to include words so everybody isn't so isolated. But I think these are common sense things. It's really common sense.
Yes, and I agree.
But we've been conditioned.
Right.
We've been conditioned to start to question, well, is this okay? Is this okay? No, it's not okay.
Right.
It's tactics and tools, racist things that are happening to Black and brown people.
That's true.
I've seen situations where white people have done the same exact things of whatever we're being accused of, right? And they have been talked down. or there's been other tactics used to get them to comply. With us, it is shoot first, ask questions later, if we're alive to see later, right?
There is definitely a lot going on in the system. I mean,
Right.
it's only obvious that, and you have a lot of protesting going on right now, and that's the sad part. I remember growing up when I was young, you know, our family had friends who were police officers, and they were our friends, you know, and I remember the police officers would watch over our neighborhood, but also come to the house and chill. I mean, that's how we grew up. And you know, what's so scary today is that the trust would be lost for the police officers. That's one thing I don't want to happen, is when you can't trust them anymore. You don't know if you're coming to get, you know, you're making it right. You know, I'm calling to get this guy who's drunk. I didn't want him to be killed. I just want you to, you know, help. So a lot of things are changing in our system that we do need help on. You are reaching www.KEPXRadio. We are so glad you're with us. Thank you. Welcome, Facebook. I see all you guys on Facebook. Leo, Pat, all you guys, thank you for joining. Benita, thank you guys. This is a wonderful subject. We have a phenomenal woman on today, and this is Aeiramique Meeka. She is TV News social justice commentator. She's also for peace and here in San Diego and helping with justice. All right, Aeiramique, we are so happy to have you. So,
Happy to be here.
Oh my gosh. So what was the last situation you had here in San Diego that you were taking? I believe something at the county.
So there's a huge issue happening right now with the death of Earl McNeil.
Yes.
He walked into the National City Police Station as he would, when he was having some type of psychiatric breakdown or drug issue. He felt comfortable enough over the years to walk into police stations or wave down a police officer and say, you know, this is what's happening, and be taken to the hospital. And so he was having some issues. He went into National City Police. He called on the phone, like they have a red phone outside the building, that, you know, said he needed help and that he wanted to kill Jesus. Well, obviously, if somebody said that, something's obviously wrong.
Something's wrong,
And from that situation, he was left brain dead. So for almost 2 months, right? We have been asking for answers from the National City Police Department. What happened? The mayor is completely the most corrupt person I've ever experienced, other than 46 minus 1, which is, you know, the president I don't claim. So Ron is probably the second most corrupt person in the political world that I've ever personally experienced, and he basically was just nonchalant, didn't really care, a very disrespectful person. And then the chief of police out there in National City, same way. And so we begin to protest, myself, Tasha Williamson, when the family reached out on Facebook. They reached out to both of us, and I have like 1,000 things. So Tasha, I'm so grateful for her. She took the lead on this case, and she did an amazing job with getting community members. When I say, I think we made history, and Earl McNeil's situation really brought so many different groups of people together and organizations together, and folks that really don't like each other together in the same room fighting for the same thing. It was a most amazing thing to see. We built such a community, and the story unfolds. Earl McNeil was actually an informant for the police. An investigator was at the hospital, and went to the hospital. An investigator was there and told us this, right? But on top of that, he was getting coerced to testify against other black men and put them away for a long period of time. Before he was, a month and a half before he was to testify, to get a man off that he went to them and said, you know what, I was told to lie. I lied.
Oh.
He did not commit these crimes. I want to, you know, be at the hearing. I want to tell them what I was told and made to do so that my charges could get dropped through the DA and all these different things, and started talking about the corruption in the police department and DA. He was supposed to testify. This young man was supposed to get off. And then Earl McNeil was killed.
Wow.
And so there's two people involved. There's the National City PD, and then there's the Sheriff's Department. And they refuse to release the video. And so we've been demanding for transparency. We've been demanding accountability. How did this happen? If you say nothing, if you say you weren't responsible for it, show us the proof, show us the videotapes, and they're refusing.
Wow. How can people get in touch with you if they're in a situation? Where do they go when they're in a situation like that? Where can they go if injustice has hit their family?
Yeah, so you know, I'm so, you know me, I'm so down to earth. I don't like I literally give out my number, but because of my profile, like, it's gotten to a point where I get threats and all kinds of stuff now. But people can literally go on Facebook, Facebook me, message me. That's how the majority of folks, you know, reach out to me. They hit me up on Facebook. They hit me up through like different social media, Instagram. I have a website, Aeiramique.com, or Generation Justice, my organization. So there's so many ways to get a hold of me. You know, I'm accessible. I always respond. If you don't get a response immediately, tag me in whatever you're talking about multiple times. I'm always going to respond. And if I can't personally respond physically, I will send somebody who is even better than me in responding and doing this work to come help you.
Well, I like that you work with a lot of city council. You work with San Diego a lot, especially when it comes to county and things like that. We are just so excited to have you on this wonderful show. This was phenomenal, and the information that you have given so many people is wonderful, because we needed to know in our communities. And nowadays our communities are being threatened with so many things that's going on, and I'm glad that you are out there fighting for justice for those who need it here in San Diego, and not only in San Diego but all over. I see you doing things even in the East Coast. You're traveling, you're trying to take care of situation, marches and protests that you're doing, but they're all positive. And that's one thing. Real quick, did you ever see yourself in where you are now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, my mom and my grandma told me early on that I was going to have to learn how to fight, because my mouth was going to get me in trouble.
There it is.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys. This is great. I just love her. We want to thank you guys for joining www.KEPXRadio. You have reached OChea Boutique.com. And I want you guys to stay tuned, because this is not our last interview. We're still going to have her on again. Again, we had Aeiramique Meeka. She is doing great things here in San Diego. Again, TV news, social justice commentator. If you need more information, you guys, I'm live on Facebook. If you need to inbox me, I can also give you information to reach her. And if you have any questions, you can also inbox me on Facebook. We are live. We will be on YouTube also. And I want to thank you guys for joining us today on www.KEPXRadio. Love you guys so much. God bless you.